He Shri Guru Dinabandhu Ganada Swananda Datta Kurinaya Sindhu Vrindavana Sinavatara Prasida Shirada Pranaya Prachara Ajanu Lambito Bujo Kanaka Varadato Sankirtanai Kapitro Kamlaya Taksho Vishwambro Dvijavayo Yugadama Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karuna Avataro Ananda Lilamaya Vigraya Hemam Devachcha Vishundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rashapadaya Shri Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Kasturi Tilakam Lata Patale Vaksana Kostavam Nasagare Varamoktikam Karatare Venu Karakankanam Sava Anga Hari Chandanam Sulalitam Kantamuktavali Rajastriyo Parivestito Vijayate Gopala Chudamani He Shisham Sundar Shikara Shekara Smirhasram Really Manohara Radhikarasika Mama Kripaniri Sapriya Charana Kingarim Guru Tavai Vasmi Najivami Tayavino Iti Vigyayra Devam Nayamam Charanantikam Yakin Kiveshu Vausa Kalu Kakavani Nityaparasya Purusha Shakandamuli Tashakadara Sanideva Sabanujayas Tatkeli Kunja Bhavananganama Janishama Pajami Radha Raravinda Netram Smarami Radha Madhura Smitasham Vadhami Radha Karuna Barajam Tato Manasti Gati Nakapi Pakita Vahino Yapalada Lakshay Shiptascha Kamadita Rangamaje Kripa Mai Tvam Saranang Prapanam Vrindi Namaste Charanara Vindam Kanaka Jaladagatro Nila Sobhagya Netro Mrigumara Varavalo Malati Kundamalo Tavula Tavana Vesho Nilampitam Bharesho Smarane Nibritini Kunje Radhika Krishna Chandra Vancha Kalpaturvyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitana Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garidhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So yesterday we concluded speaking, not that we exhausted speaking, but we just concluded our particular attempt to serve Harikatha by speaking about what is Abhideya. And we mentioned clearly that Abhideya is that which names, codifies, and expresses by body, mind, and words the Sambandha Gyan that's there in the heart of an aspirant. If there is no Sambandha Gyan, then you cannot do Abhideya, because the Abhideya is an expression of your Sambandha Gyan. And similarly, if there's no Sambandha Gyan and there is no Abhideya, there cannot be the accomplishment of a Prayojana. Understand? So in our Gaudiya theology, there are certain conceptions, it's okay? There are certain conceptions which are tied together, like Achintya Beda Abhed Tattva, like Shakti Parinamavad. Shakti Parinamavad means Krishna's energies are transforming, not Krishna himself. And Achintya Beda Abhed Tattva, you know. So similarly, Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana are an intrinsic part of the theology that's a synthesis and can't be broken. So you cannot say, I'm practicing bhakti, and if someone will ask you about Sambandha Gyan, you don't know. You understand? Or you can't say, I have a Sambandha Gyan, but I'm not practicing. You understand? And if you say you have neither Sambandha Gyan nor Abhideya, but oh yes, I've seen Krishna, then it's Sahajavad. Paka Prakrita Sahajavad. Because if you have no Sambandha, and you've not done any practice, how you had Prayojana. Understand? So all three things, they're synthesized together, and they cannot be separated. Huh? Oh, my wife gave me. She gave me the link, so I was saying. So today is Prayojana Tattva, and in Prayojana Tattva, then the predominating deity is Gopinath. Give me 1 minute. Dupanman. Shiman Rasa Rasarambi, Vangsivata, Sita Pita, Karshana Venu Swanara Gopi, Vangsivata, Shriyestuna. So here this verse is mentioning that the predominating deity of Prayojana is Gopinath. Gopinath means the Lord of the Gopis, but especially the Prananath of Srimati Radhika. We read yesterday in Manasiksha, Marisha Natadve Vrajavipina Chandra Vane Vrindavaneshwarim Natadve. So Raghunath Das Goswami is giving you some banda for those practicing Raganuga Sadhan, how to see the relationship between Radha and Krishna. That we see Marisha. Isha means, who is my Isha? My Isha, he says, is Srimati Radhika. Vrajavipina Chandra, Shri Krishna, is her Prananath. So this is how we make the adjustment, how to see. And then he says, Priya Guru Girindro Tat Preksha. If you want to have Rati, you will approach Radhakund and Shri Giriraj Govardhan. But you can approach Radhakund and Giriraj Govardhan in the heart of any Sudha Vaishnava. Understand? You not only physically you will approach, but in the heart of any Sudha Vaishnava, Giri Govardhan and Radhakund are present. Because it's mentioned about Radhakund, Radhakunda Miha Gokulapate, Prema Namrita Plavanat. Radhakund is non-different from Srimati Radhika. This is mentioned in Padma Puran. Haribo, Haribo. This is mentioned in Padma Puran. Also it says here that the nature of Radhakund, like the heart of Radhika, Radhakundam Iha Gokulapate, Prema Amrita Plavanat. That Radhakund is overflowing its banks. In the same way, we'll read today that in Prem, Radhika's Prem, when it reaches its height, it overflows her heart and enters into the hearts of others. This is called Yavat Asray Vritti. Understand? So Radhakund also doing same thing. So because in the heart of any Sudha Vaishnava, Giriraj Govardhan and Radhakund is always present, from their hearts also overflowing is their own mood. And it is their mood that's being expressed in Harikatha. Understand? So the Harikatha is not a lecture. The Harikatha is the overflow of their mood coming from their heart. And Asana Janata Ritvalodhanam. Ujjwal Nirmani is telling that if anyone is very fortunate, Yavarashraya Vritti, when it overflows the heart of any Sudha Vaishnava, it will enter your heart. It does go, I told so many times about Satam Prasanga, Mamavira, it goes to the heart. And when it enters your heart, it will expand, just like water when it flows. If it will fill up in one place, overflows that place, goes next, overflows, like this, like flood. Harikatha of Sudha Vaishnavas is like that. Yes. It will, Pravishtakarna means it may enter the ear, but it only goes to the heart. It overflows the heart, and then it spills out as their mood. You understand? Into everyone who's nearby. According to the adhikar of those who are nearby, they will grab more or less of the flood. For some people, they're walking along the bank of the ocean in the sand, the wave will crash and some spray will come on you. Someone else is ankle deep because they're afraid of sharks, means they don't want to do sarnagati. Or somebody is bathing waist deep. Somebody is diving in the waves of that ocean. So according to Adhikar, in the association with the Sudha Vaishnava, when their mood overflows the heart, people are accordingly being bathed by that overflow of the waves of their heart.
Can you clarify when you speak of, people speak of the heart, Paramatma of the heart, are we speaking of the physical heart that's residing in this body, or are we talking about the heart of the Atma?
No, it mentions in a transcendent position in the region of the heart. And this also has relations to the chakras in the body. In the regions of the heart, the pran coming from the Atma, along with the Paramatma is being manifest in the region of the heart.
So the physical heart that's in this body?
Yeah, but it's not really the physical heart, because it's in a transcendent position. Alright? Give me 1 second. Yeah, you can give cushions to those who are sitting on the floor. So Sriman Rasa Arambi. So the word Arambi means to begin or to initiate. So it's saying Sriman means very beautiful. So the very beautiful Rasa, because first it says Sriman Rasa. So this Rasa means the Rasa Samagri. And so Rasa Samagri means what is Vibhav, Anubhav, Satvik Bhav, Vichari Bhav. This is the Rasa Samagri. In the Ras, in Sanskrit here is the long A. Ras means Aswadan. So in the Ras Lila, Rasa Samuhat Iti Rasa. All the different rasa are tasted in that particular pastime. You understand? So all rasa is tasted in the Ras Lila. Right? So that Lila is the Lila in which all kinds of rasa is tasted. Right? So it's mentioned in Ramananda Samvad. Samyak, where is this verse? Samyak Sara, what is this verse? Oh, Samyak Saravasana Krishnera Raslila. Raslila Vasanati Radhika Shrinkala. So it says that the topmost of all pastimes, Samyak means the culmination of all leelas, is Krishna's Raslila. And Shrimati Radhika is the Shrinkala. Shrinkala means like a thread. Where if you make a jewelry with pearls, that thread is called the Shrinkala. So it says that Radhika is the Shrinkala, the binding element in the Ras Lila. Understand? So also we sing all the time. What is it? Shirasa Mandala. What is it? Shirasa Mandala Jaya. Jaya Radhisham. Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sava Manoram. So this Ras Lila is the topmost of all pastimes. So it says here that Krishna is the initiate of the Rasa dance. So in Srimad Bhagavatam in the 10th canto it's also mentioned there. Bhagavana Pita Ratri Sarat Utpalika Malika Viksham Rantum Manasam Chakre Yoga Maya Upasritam. So here it's saying that Krishna himself on the night of Sarat in the autumn season, when he was Dristavat Kumunvantam Akanda Mandalam, he saw that the moon had become full. And when he saw that the moon had become full, he thought also, listen, in my dynasty, because I've come in Chandravanks, right? Ramanam Bam Kumkum Arunam. He saw that though the moon for the eastern direction is called Purvadisha, the eastern direction is called Purvadish. And the husband of Purvadish is whom? Indra. He's the husband of the Purvadish, means that direction. But he saw that the moon, when it was in proximity, it had painted the Purvadisha like with kumkum red color. You understand? So then Krishna thought, listen, yajjara charati shreshtas tatareva tarojana. Whatever great person should do, those who are considering them great should follow. So he thought, in my dynasty, in my ancestry, the moon itself had taken the wife of another person and had painted the face with kumkum. You understand? So he said, my desire, Viksham Rantu Manasai Chakre, this desire I have, because now I'm looking at the moon and it resembles one gopi who's here in this braj. Whom? Looks like also her face. It's very blue because this Kumudvanta means like a lotus that's blossoming. So because it looks like that, Viksham Rantu, I'm also having desire to paint the face. But if I thought there was anything bad about it, my ancestor has confirmed no problem. You understand? So in that way, it's Viksham Rantu Masai Chakre. But in order to do it, Yoga Maya Upasritam. So why he took shelter of Yoga Maya? Vyasadeva actually saw this. Because it mentions after Nard Samvad with Vyasadeva, it mentions, he told you should do Manasik Seva, means Raganuga Sadhan. He told to Vyasadeva. Because Vyasadeva is empowered to compile the Vedas and everything. This is why when Parvati asked about the status of Vyasadeva, Mahadev told, Aham Vedmi Shuko Vedmi Vyasavetina Vetiva. I know what is Srimad Bhagavatam. I know it means Radhadasyam. Why? Because he's written Kada Karisha Siyamam Kripakatab Shivajinam. I know. Shukdev Goswami, he's the Krita Shuk of Radhika. He knows. Vyasadeva, whether he knows, I'm not sure. Because he's Vedanta Krit. Vedas Chavaya Hamavejo, Vedanta Krit, Vedavit Eva Chaham. So Krishna says, by all the Vedas I am to be known. So that means he's Vishaya Jatiya. By the Vedas, which the conclusion of Vedas is Radhadasam, but he's saying Krishna is the Vishaya of that. I am also the knower of the Vedas, in the form of Radhika, who knows Krishna better than Radhika? No one. Therefore, she's the actual knower of the Veda. But then there's a third category mentioned, Vedanta Krit. Who's this Vedanta Krit? Sri Vyasadeva Ji. So Mahadev telling, from what angle of vision he's writing, I don't know. You understand? Because when he was compiling all Puran and everything, it was not clear that he understood that Radha Dasyam was the goal of Vedas. You understand? But then after meeting with Nard Muni, and, what is this verse? Bhakti Jogena Manasi Samyak Pratile Amale Apashat Purusham Puranam. He saw everything at that time. Maya Yam Upasritam, including he saw Krishna take shelter of Yogamaya. You understand? So on this ninth also it's saying that to fulfill his desire, Yogamayam Upasritam. Why he took shelter of Yogamaya? To make this Rasa Leela happen. Charyas have explained, but I'm asking. She's Leela Shakti, but more reason. When all of the young girls of Braj were promised to be married to others, you understand? At that time they became very distraught. And on the day they were to be taken to their in-laws' houses, the gopis' hearts were so distraught, their parents also were very distraught. So Yogamaya Devi came and told Listen, these young girls have suffered, also as you as parents are suffering because they're suffering, I will personally take them and deliver them to each house. In that way, along the way, I can console them. But she never delivered to the house of the in-laws. She made duplicate bodies. Duplicate bodies she sent to the in-laws, and in one prakosh, they only think that they're married. So husbands never touch them. So the reason he took shelter of Yogamaya, so Yogamaya could arrange that the actual gopis could come and the husbands would think that their wives, daughters, etc. were at home. You understand? So it says Yogamaya Upasritam. So he took shelter of Yogamaya. Then it mentions that on that night, after looking at the moon and seeing it like the face of Radhika, at that time, Jaku Kalam Bamadrisam Manoharam, he then began to play his flute. That night he's using Murali. Normally he plays Venu during the day. But all commentators have said that night he's playing Murali. Murali has a special sound to it. So Jagu Kalam. Jagu Kalam here means he played, first of all, Panchamaswar. Panchamaswar means Sringar Swar, the fifth note of Krishna's flute. Like, I'm giving mundane example. If you're trying to arrange any romantic date or anything, you're not going to play like, I don't know, a rock song or something, right? You want to play any very romantic song. So Krishna is very expert. He uses the Panchamaswar to make a melody. Because Jiva Goswami Pad said it's not one note. It's one note that's the basis of a rag, that's a melody. But Jagu Kalam means this melody would only be heard by gopis and no one else. You understand? It would only be heard by gopis and no one else. So I'm giving an example. There is some kind of music that if you play it, everybody will hear. There's some kind of music that when you play it, it makes people to fall asleep. So Krishna's flute that night, Jagu Kalam, it was having the effect that all other Brijabasis, not gopis, were sleeping peacefully. Like nice new age music or something, people sleeping very nicely. So it made them sleep, and for gopis, it fully awakened them to be excited to go and to serve Krishna. But then, even more, it's mentioned, Satakopi Gopi Madhavaman. Rahilo, what is this? Nariko, what is this first? Narilo, Riko Rakite. Gaudiya Yatan. It says, even though there were billions of gopis there, they were trying to please Krishna. Madhavaman means trying to please the mind of Krishna. And even though Gaudiya Yatan means with very great endeavor, but they could not do it. But then it says, why? Because it says, Murli Dake Radhika Nam. His only intention was to call Radhika. You understand? So Murli Dake Radhika Nam, Esho Eshe Radhika Dabke Esham. He was calling her Radhika, you come to meet me. But all of the gopis, because their hearts also tarak with Radhika, they heard. But also it's mentioned when the gopis were running to go to meet with Krishna. Some gopis, they had their kajal was where lipstick should be. Lipstick is where the kajal should be. The nupura was on the wrist and the bangles were on the ankles. Also the hair was half braided and other half is not braided. You understand? Rakiri Narilo, yeah. I just want to make sure I said that. One half hair not braided. You understand? Some part makeup, some part not makeup. But they were running, and there were billions. Satakoti Gopi means million persons running. But even they did not know one was next to the other. Why? Because their avesh in their personal desire to serve and please Krishna was so absorbing, they're not paying attention who's this, who's that. You understand? This is also a very good upakyan about practicing bhakti. We practice bhakti, but we're always looking for an eye. Oh, what that one is doing. What this one is doing. We're not focused to one point of serving Gurudev. Oh, that one is not doing good. So forth. And if that becomes the case, Harikata of what's wrong with this one, what's wrong with that one. Not Harikata, Prajalpa rather. What's wrong with this one, what's wrong with that one. Who's not having this right thing, that thing. You understand? But they were showing in the intensity of the highest kind of lila, they were ekagrata, fixed, one-pointed, ekantic. And they're running in such a way that they're not even noticing who's there, who's not there. Also here, that night, no need for abhisar. Because in abhisar, abhisar means when the gopis are taken on a rendezvous to meet Krishna. That time, everything is very meticulous. The path is charted out. They will avoid any kind of snake. They will go through the forest so they're not seen on the main road, but they will avoid any bushes or anything. But this night, running. No concern, no care, no anything. Simply running. Understand? So this was their utkanta in order to go and to serve Krishna. Understand? But when they arrived there, when Krishna saw each of them, and then especially saw Radhika, he thought, no time have I ever seen them more beautiful. If you went to go for your first date, and the hair was one way, eye was this way like this here, and she said, oh, how do I look? You're forced to say, very beautiful. Very good, very, very charming. But in your mind, you're thinking this first date, also last date. You understand? You're thinking like that. You understand? But Krishna saw, and he saw they were so beautiful, more beautiful than normally seeing them every day. You understand? He said, oh, how beautiful they are. You understand? So this is what is Ras Leela. So now I'm coming to my point. Why did Krishna consider that they were so beautiful? This was because the height of Prema was there. And Prema is what gives drishti. That means vision. Everything is controlled by Prema there. So the Prema drishti saw that they were so beautiful. Because gopis have anurag. Sarano bhuta kuryo yam nava nava priyam. At every second they became more beautiful. Because this is the nature of anurag. And Radhika, her anurag goes all the way up to Madan Bhav. So what is Prema is what we are discussing today. So we discussed at the end of Abhideya that the conclusion of our Abhideya or practice is to obtain the goal, which is Bhav. Right? The goal of sadhan bhajan is to obtain Bhav. That Bhav has been described Sudha Sattva Viseshatma Prem Suyang Sasamyabha Ruchi bis here is plural. Ruchi bis Chittamasanya Kritaso Bhavuchite. This Bhav melts the chitta. So the chitta of the jiva prior to the appearance of Bhav and advancement in bhakti is composed of ahankara and the modes of nature. That's what's on the chitta. You understand? When Bhav comes, Ruchi bis, three kinds in particular of Ruchi, they melt away partially that false egoism and the modes of nature's influence. What are those three Ruchis? Gurudev used to tell many times. Bhagavat Prapt Abhilas, the desire to meet and be with Krishna. Sohard Abhilas means to serve with intimacy of heart. And Anukul Abhilas, the desire to render favorable services. These three abhilasas is ruchi bis, chitta maslinya. They melt the chitta down sufficiently. But then, how does that happen? It says, avir bhuya manovritam, vrajayate tat sarupatam. Swayam prakasha rupopi, vashamana, what is this, vashamana? Prakashavat. Prakashavat means to manifest, but the word bashaman is very important. Because bashaman means like anything that you see in the world. You look at this table, you look at anyone, right? What they're seeing, are the eyes seeing that form? This is my question. Because if you take any person who has no consciousness and you open the eye, will the eye see anything? Understand? Unfortunately, in the course of my work at one time, doing investigation, one person had passed away. Some people pass away, the eye is open. But that person, I'm doing investigation, so we have to take some, so I'm standing right next to them, but not seeing anything. So not the eye is seeing. What happens is that the eye is reflecting on the chitta. You understand? See, eye is only reflecting on the chitta. The chitta vrittis then take the form of what you think you're seeing and present it to the Atma. You understand? That's how this works. So the chitta vrittis actually, by pran is running, pran means your life hairs, are running through the chitta. And the vrittis of the chitta, mean the functions of the chitta, take something and conform it to that shape, form, and everything and present it to the Atma. Because remember, the Atma is not in the material world. Asango Yanyam Purusha. The Atma never touches the material energy. You understand? So it's being presented back to the Atma via the chitta. Understand? So now it says, Avirbuya Manovrito Vajayate Tat Swarupatam. When this Swarup Shakti descends, it takes over the functions of the chitta. You understand? And when it takes over the functions of the chitta, it is what suppresses the ahamkara and the modes of material nature. Vrajayate means to permeate. It permeates your chitta vrittis. But now here, Swayam Prakash Rupopi. Swayam Prakash means it has come of its own accord. That's why it says Nitya Siddha Sabhavasha. The Bhav is not coming from the sadhana. You understand this point? The Bhav wasn't produced by your practice. The Bhav was already there. It was Nitya Siddha. You understand? But now it appears on the chitta. And Avya Bhuya means it descends. You understand? But in this descent, it's not outside to inside. Right. That's why I made that point. Because the whole realm of bhakti is the spiritual thing, so it's all internal. It's Advaya again. So it descends onto the chitta, permeates the chitta, and takes over the functions of the chitta. What is Swarup Shakti's only function? Serving Krishna. Because the Swarup Shakti is composed of Samvit, Aladini. And Sandini is the basis under which it's come. You understand? Samvit here means spiritual cognition. It's what makes you realize Krishna. And Ladini is what makes you feel bliss in realizing Krishna. That comes on the chitta and takes over the functions of the chitta. But practically speaking, has the jiva ever been in control of the chitta? No. What was controlling the chitta before? False ego in the modes of nature. That's what's in the verse, Prakriti Kriyamanani Gunai Kamashi Savasha. The modes of material nature, Ahamkara Vimuratma, Karataham, the doing aspect, you thought you were doing it. Manyate means you thought you were doing it, but it was actually being done by the modes of nature. But now, Swarup Shakti is doing it. And it has suppressed the modes of nature. But now not fully. Maharaj not fully, because Maharaj brought up the point the other day. The dispensing of false egoism, all these things, it goes in stages. So in this stage, it is called Purnana. In Bhav, it is almost completely gone. What's the verse? Bhumi in Bhagavatam. This verse? Hearing Bhagavatam every day. Nasta Praisho Bhadresiv Nityam Bhagavata Sevyam. Bhagavati Utamashloki, Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. By hearing Bhagavatam every day, the abhadra or bad things are almost fully destroyed. Almost. Because when does the abhadra be completely destroyed? All or not is everything. In Prema. In Prema it is called adyantik. completely. In Bhav, it is Purna. So maybe some smell is there, something, but it's like Gurudev gave once the example. If you take a plate, right, if you take a plate and that plate that people have eaten on, right, so you clean that thali really, really well, right, sometimes it may be some residue or some smell from what was on that plate, but nothing is there on the plate. So in the same way in Bhav, it's like that. Some smell of the past influence may be there, but nothing concrete. Understand? So this happens in Bhav. What happens in praying? Samyam masrinito swanto. So now swanto means the chitta. So it says samyam masrinito swanto. Completely now. Masrinya, the melting of the chitta has taken place. So that means everything, false egoism, everything is gone. Right? Samyam means completely. Masrinito means to melt. Swanto. The false ego and everything is completely melted. At that time, mamata pisankita. This is where mamata comes in praying. So now, one function of the false ego was I and mine. These are functions of false ego. So now what happened? I-ism has become dasosmi. Mamata has become I belong to Krishna. Krishna is mine. You understand? Mamata sankita. So now I and mine is transferred to I belong to Krishna as his das and Krishna is mine. You understand? Mamata sankita. Then Bhava Eva Sandratma. Then the full effect of the Ladini Vritti also comes in praying. And therefore it gives rise, Bhava Eva Sandratma. It completely permeates. Buddhaya Prema Nigajate. This is called praying. This is called praying. Mamata Tusankita. So Tusankita means that the action of mamata, you are mine. You understand? When we're in the material consciousness, everything is I and mine. I'm the bhokta. I'm the doer, the cause, and the bhokta. You understand? It is called Karana Karta Bhokta Bhav. Karna means I'm the cause. I'm making it happen. And Kartatva means I'm doing it. I'm the originating cause. I'm doing it. Therefore, I'm entitled to enjoy it. Right? All of that is completely melted away. One realizes I am the agent of Krishna. I belong to him. And Krishna is also mine. So now that mamata that we had for this body and everything in relation to it is now towards Krishna. And this is the proper application of mamata. Now, we already mentioned that this, even from the stage of Bhav, that this Swarup Shakti is Swayam Prakash, means it's self-manifesting. It is not brought about by anything else. Bhakti itself, of Ladini and Samvit, Shakti, is manifesting itself. Understand? Therefore, Gurudev said it may also appear, Bhumi was reading this the other day, it may also appear in even somebody who's supposedly not qualified for it. The most vile person. It may appear in them. This was to prove the point that bhakti is not dependent. It is independent. It's swatantrata. You understand? Because it's also mentioned, bhakti param pratilabhya kamam ridrogam. Heart still may be contaminated. Bhakti can appear there. You cannot dictate what bhakti should do. Understand? But we shouldn't think like that. Well, it can appear in anybody. I don't have to become purified or endeavor, because bhakti may come anyway. So again, like lottery nam, that's lottery bhakti. Understand? It may come, maybe I'll hit it, So no, we don't want to do that. So now, the second half of this verse. Vastuta, swayamashvata, sarupa eva rati stuaso. The nature, the swarup of rati, or love, is such that it is swayamaswadya. It means love is also self-tasting. So love is tasting itself. You understand? Prema is tasting itself. And when it tastes itself, it grows. Because you are now connected to Prema, it's growing in you. You understand? You understand? No, yea or nay?
Yes.
Yes. Prema itself is swayam aswajam. It's tasting itself. You understand? And because it is self-tasting, your connection with it makes that self-tasting element grow in you. It's the same thing, it's in Shashastakam. Ananda Buddhi Vardhanam. Prati Padam Purna Amrita Swaranam. Yes. And when you become tadatmik with that prem, it's growing and you're experiencing it. You understand? This was also the meaning of the word Bhashamana Prakashavat. Bhashaman means that something appears on your chitta, but because the chitta is so closely related to it, it appears like it came from the chitta. You understand? So the prem seems like I was doing bhakti and then I became enlightened. But was that the case? No, Avir Bhuya. It manifested on you, but the sensibility is that it came from me. Why? Because the Atma now and this sort of Shakti has become Tadatmik. You understand? So this is, Tadatmik means one. One. So that's why there's no sense of inside-outside. Because it's one now. Understand? So now, Vashtuta Swayam Ashwadya Sarupa Eva Ratistu. So the nature of Rati is its self-tasting. Because of that, Krishna di Kamakakshwada Hetunam Pratipajate. Because it is self-tasting, it becomes the cause for you to realize Krishna through samvit-vritti, and the cause of your feeling bliss because of realizing Krishna by ladini vritti. Now, that samvit and ladini vritti, because it is self-manifest and self-tasting, it grows. So after prem comes what? Why does it become sneha? If you have love, what is the need for it to become sneha? It's growing. This is the proof of what we're saying. Right. Because if you reach prem, you're not saying, I want to reach more and more prem. It does. The prem itself is causing itself to grow, and you are in that experience being tadatmik with it. You understand? So the prem became sneha. That's why we say, what is our Prayojana? Prem. Prem is doing everything now. So prem is becoming sneha. And what is that sneha? Aruya Paramakasta Prema Chit Deepa Deepanam. So Rupa Goswami gave an example. He said, if you take a deep, means a light, right? The light is giving some heat and some illumination. But that very same light, if you light another deep, is that next deep composed of something different than the elements of the first one? No. But what happens now? The illumination and everything doubles. Yeah. You understand? So that's deeper, deeper now? That's chit, deeper, deeper now. So that function of the prem illuminates itself because it's swayam, prakash and swayam aswadhyam. Tasting itself, it illuminates itself more. Now, that sneha, therefore, Hridayam Dravyam. It then makes the heart melt further. So the word dravya means like liquid. Yeah. Instead it means like ros, like mango. There's the pulp, there's the seed, but when you squeeze it, just the juice comes out. So when the heart becomes completely liquefied, that's called Hridayam Dravyam. Understand? So the extent of the prem growing causes the heart to melt further. So why does this become important? So Guru Bhai Prem, he gave a good example, right? Because I hadn't heard this example before, but it was excellent. He said, in Bhav, the heart is melted. So like underneath this carpet, there's stone probably, a cement floor. But the carpet makes it some softer. So if you drop something on this carpet, it may bounce a little bit because it's indicating that the surface is softer. When you come to praying, maybe this surface here now has become like mud. You understand? So you drop something and it actually sinks into it. In sneha, when it becomes completely dravya, it becomes like liquid. When you drop something in liquid, what happens? It creates ripples. These ripples are how Sanchari Bhavs due to Udipan take place. Wow. You understand? It was an amazing example. So he says when you drop something, which is an Udipan means a stimulus. So when they will think of Krishna's qualities, Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's footprint, it's like dropping a stone in water. The ripples that come from that are like the waves of the Sanchari Bhav that's tasted by thinking of those things. Because the heart now, Hridayam Dravyatam, has become completely liquefied. But how this is tasted becomes different in different devotees. So in the gopis, it manifests in two ways. One way is called Gritta Sneha. One way is called Madhu Sneha. So in Gritta Sneha, it is in Chandravali. So this Gritta Sneha means Chandravali tastes Krishna's Madhuris, everything in a certain kind of way. And it causes a certain kind of reaction. Similarly, in Madhu Sneha is in Radhika. And in Radhika, she also tastes Krishna's Madhuris in a certain kind of way. Understand? Now, this kind of Sneha, it gives rise to a particular type of man. So, it's mentioned here, Ahili Prema Gaudiya Swabhava Kutil Vore Hetu Hetuscha Yunam Mana Udamchiti. You understand? So, man means that prem at a certain point takes a crookedness. Why? Because the prem seeks out its own exaltation. So, like, I'm giving an example. We're in this one place. We could be in this resort and be in this one room every day. But Shrikant this morning went driving. He went to explore. Walking. Oh, you walked up there? Okay. So, walking in different places here, you're seeing different things. So, rather than being in this one place, by walking here, you beautified the entire resort. Because many other things came about by those navigations. Yes? In the same way, when prem starts to navigate, either a cause or without a cause, it takes a crookedness. Kutila means a crookedness. It becomes enhanced. You understand? In the material world, it doesn't work like that. If something in the relationship goes crooked, it can be the source of breaking. But prem has also a nature. Savata Dongsarahitam, Yadapi Dongsakarane. That prem can never be broken. Even if there was a cause like man, it still won't break. Yad bhava bandhano yuno, it makes the prem stronger. So man, rather than being a cause of breaking, it intensifies the prem. You understand? So this is called man. That man, because of the different... Hetu means with a cause or without a cause. So yesterday we talked about with a cause. Krishna was late coming to meet Radhika in Bakul Grove. So this became an impetus for her. This is a cause. You're late. You're always late, etc. Or Gurudev saying, if Krishna will do anything wrong. And because the potential Krishna is going to do something wrong is always there. Like Gotra Skalana means he may call Chandravali Radhika or Radhika. He may try to recite a poem. He may say, your eyes are like Chand, and before he can get it out, right? It's called Gotra Skalana. Means to say inappropriately. If your wife's name is Jane and you say, hi Sally, it'd be a problem. You understand? It will cause problem. You understand?
What about without a cause?
Huh? Without a cause means, example is given. This is in Kastuba Hankar. So Prem recited this one as well. Radhika was sitting with Krishna one time. And Radhika was very immersed looking at the beauty of his face. And when she was looking, she became so entranced. But then she saw there was a red mark on his cheek. And she thought, this debauchee person. He's sitting with me right here. And even having the nerve to have the kumkum or lipstick of any other lady on his cheek. So she started to become very angry. Everything sitting there. And then Krishna turned and said, yes, dear, what's wrong? And when he turned his head, she saw that what was happening was the ruby in his earring was reflecting a red mark. So he turned like this, and she saw it was, but now she's in dilemma. You understand? Because already she's gotten into this mood, but now okay. So now what should I do? So then Prem was describing, she was going through all these different sanchari bhavs, like pride. Well, anyway, he's always done things wrong in the past. He's always done things wrong. This is not the first time he has a history like this. So it's not my fault. Then she said, well, anyway, also, if he thinks that I became angry for no reason, he may think I'm unstable. You understand? And if he thinks I'm unstable, that's not good. Right? So then she started, this is called vitarka. So she's thinking, what should I do? Should I act like nothing happened? Or should I just go into man anyway So all these different moods are going on. So he's describing like this, but ultimately there was no cause because it was a mistake. You understand? So hate to, I hate to. You understand? Yeah. So many tribes. So this is in Kastuba Alankar. I've not read fully, so but many nice things are there. All right. So this man, because the sneha is different, Grita sneha or Madhu sneha, this kind of man is also different. Yeah. One kind of man is called Lalit man of Radhika. Another is called Udatta man. Understand? Udatta man is in Chandravali. So example of Udatta man, I was just mentioning about Gotra Skalana. So if Krishna is with Chandravali, right? And he's talking to Chandravali and he will say, "Oh Radha," and make the mistake to call the name of Radhika, Chandravali, she will smile. Right? If she was smiling slightly, being in his association, she'll make a big smile. And like that. You understand? So then Krishna will realize his mistake, but Chandravali, instead of becoming angry, she's smiling. You understand? But then Krishna, to try to make up everything, he will say, "Oh, you are my most dear," and he tries to embrace her. She'll go, "Okay." You understand? You understand? So it's like a passive-aggressive kind of thing. You understand? So she's not displaying the anger outright. You understand? But she will smile, and if this is Udatman, it means it has the ability to cover, conceal to some degree her anger, and it takes the shape, still keeping some dakshin. Dakshin means like submissiveness. You understand? She's angry. But the anger takes the shape of still being submissive. You understand? I'm trying to think any material example. If any wife will become disturbed, I'd never make this mistake, go Triskavana. I will never do it. But if somehow it will happen, right? My wife, it depends on what kind of man. I don't know what man is there. I'm not trying to find out. But I'm saying, if this will happen, and she will say, "Oh, I made some prasad," right? Now sometimes you say, "Oh, here, prasad is here, bring to the table and everything." But if she smiles, says, "Oh, I've made some prasad," and I'll sit down and say, "Oh, it's in the fridge." You understand? It's in the fridge. So it's not direct, overt anger. But you can tell something's going on. You understand? This is called Udatman. Lalitman comes from a sense of pranay, of feeling intimate. You understand? I'll get to pranay next. But it's a sense of feeling comfort. So if Krishna will do the same thing to Radhika, what will happen? "Oh, then you like a Lalit? Go there." You understand? Go there. You can go now. You need any help finding the way? Oh, Rup Manjaya, show way, quickest way that he can go that side. You understand? So this is Lalitman. Because Radhika is called Dira Adira Majanaika. So Dira means she can be sober, but Adira means she can also be very unsober. You understand? So this is Lalitman and Udatman. So Man gives rise to, or sometimes they reverse, Pranay. So what is Pranay? Swarupa Pranaya Sasya Visrambha Katito Buddhi. Learned persons say that this Pranay is Visrambha. It means when there's a sense of intimacy and there are no obstacles. There's the feeling like we are one. So there's no necessity of strict etiquette because we're very familiar. So for instance, because of the Grita Sneha and Madhu Sneha, now also when it comes to Pranay, it may be either submissive kind of Pranay or very familiar type of Pranay. I'm giving you an example. If Krishna is standing next to Chandravali and he takes the left hand of Chandravali and he puts it on his shoulder, Chandravali will take that hand down and put the right hand on because it's proper etiquette. You understand? She'll put the arm, but she'll put right arm. Understand? Radhika, if she's with Krishna, and Radhika is sitting next to Krishna, and any bumblebee will come by, she will snatch Krishna's pitamba off of him and start going like this. You understand? Because she has a sense of visramba, intimacy, it doesn't matter. Also, it's mentioned sometimes in their Van Vihar, Radhika becomes sweating somewhat everything. She'll take his pitamba and wipe her face, and then all cudgel everything will be over it. You understand? But she's not concerned because she has this kind of pranay. Right? From pranay will become rag. So what is happening? Like in Chit Deepa Deepana, Prema is observing itself, tasting itself, and Ananda Buddhivardhanam. It's growing and growing and growing. Right? So now in the stage of rag, Dukkam Arikam Chitte Shukatena Eva Rajayate. That whenever there's any experience, right, of discomfort or problems or suffering, then because of their affection for Krishna, by thinking of Krishna even slightly, Shukta Eva Rajayate, the sukh permeates that mood and covers over any kind of discomfort. So Dukkamarikam Chitte. Dukkamarika means like first there may be some pain. You understand? But by thinking about Krishna or the prospect of seeing Krishna, Shukya Eva Rajayate. Sukh comes and completely covers that dukkha. You understand or not? Understand? So now
you're saying there's some kind of pain or discomfort that the bliss will cover it.
Yeah, but from our perspective, we will think since Shuk is going to cover the pain, that's good for me. Right. But that's not the case in the hearts of gopis. Because Atma Sukhe Duke na karele vichar. They never considered their own happiness and distress. The fact that they were willing to accept, because in Ruda Bhav, we'll see, in Adi Ruda Bhav, it will mention, they actually want to visibly accept suffering so Krishna can be happy. You understand? So the conception is not that since the Sukh will come and cover Dukh, it's good for us. They're not concerned for that. Only they're concerned that even if I have to suffer, if there's the prospect of seeing Krishna, like the examples given in Ujjwali Mani, that Radhika during the midday, when Krishna is herding cows, she may walk and go on to Govardhan. Govardhan will have stones that are super sharp, almost like knives. And the heat bearing down from the sun will make them very hot. Radhika is walking barefoot, and she will stand on those stones, only looking. Because the slight chance she may see the darshan of Krishna and the cowherd boys, then that suffering that would be caused by that is completely eradicated and covered with shuk. Similarly, Radhika, when she's cooking for Krishna, she becomes so happy. She's cooking over open flame, so many stoves at one time, here, there. No sweating, no heat, no anything. Because now the heat and everything that would be discomfort is covered over by the idea I'm cooking for Krishna. So Shukka Eva Rajayate. It permeates that mood and covers over any discomfort. Okay? This is called rag. It's just a static? Okay, it's not disturbing too much, huh? That's the speaker.
That's the Yavachari.
That's rag, what you just...
This is called rag. It's all. You don't have to take a note because I put it all in the handout.
Yeah.
So you have it free.
The fact that you explained it this way is quite awesome.
Yes. From rag, and rag is also because of, remember the division, starting at sneha. So rag is also different. So in Chandravali, that rag is called Nilima rag. Nilima rag. Okay? In Radhika it's called Raktima rag. Raktima means red. Nila means blue. You understand? Now, the interesting thing is, there are 4 categories of gopis. Swapaksh, Surit-paksh, Tatashta-paksh, and Vipaksh. Accordingly, there are different divisions of the rag. So in Bhadra, who is close to Chandravali, that Nilima rag becomes Sham rag. What does that mean? Because it's a little slight distance away from Chandravali, it's Sham rag, so it still has the same kind of features, but it is slightly different. You understand? In Sham Saki, who's close to Radhika, her rag is called Kusumba rag. It's also like Raktima rag. Radhika's rag is called Manjista. It means full blown, like red, intensified. In Shamasaki, it's slightly different. Why does these differentiations take place? Because there's a drop in Bhadra there's a drop of the favorable mood of Radhika. You understand? Her kind of Gritta Sneha mood, there's a slight drop of that in Bhadra. So rather than being strictly Nilima Rag, it becomes Sham Rag. Similarly, in Sham Sakhi, who's very dear to Radhika, there's still a little touch of like Gritta Sneha. So her rag is called Kusumba Rag. So these differentiations take place because of the different categories of gopis and the different kinds of moods they have. But they're in 4 categories. Is clear or not clear? One more time. 4 kinds of divisions of gopis. Radhika's own gopis, they're called Swapaksh. Those who are very friendly to Radhika, like Sham Sakhi, she is called Surit Paksh. Those who are Tatashta, that means they're kind of neutral to Radhika. Right? They're not very close. They're Tatashta. That is like Bhadra. And Chandravali is Vipaksh. She's the opposite party. If you looked at it from the angle of Chandravali, her group with Bhadra Surit to Chandravali. And Shama is Tatashta to Chandravali. And Radhika is Vipaksh to Chandravali. So in those 4 groups of gopis, the 4 kinds of rag, 2 kinds of rag, but 2 nuances of them, manifest in Bhadra and Sham. That's all. Nilima Rag is in Chandravali, Raktima Rag is in Radhika, but the Raktima Rag is called Manjista. Surit means Bhadra is like a friend to Chandravali. Right? Like I'm giving an example. To Krishna Kamini Didi, you've known a long time, is like close friendship. Somebody just coming first time to meet today and you're meeting them. So there's no friendship really established yet, but also you're not angry at them or anything. So it's a neutral feeling. You understand? It's Tatashta, means neutral. Understand? But to Krishna Kamini Didi, friendship is there. So same way, Sham Sakhi to Radhika, she's friendly. You understand? Like this. And even more, probably Krishna Kamini would be like your own Swapaksh. Better. Because like Lalita, Visakha, etc., they're Radhika's own group. You understand? Sham Sakhi is friendly to them. Bhadra is neutral to them. But Bhadra is friendly to Chandravali. Padma is like Lalita, Visakha to Radhika. Padma is like that to Chandravali. Therefore, Padma will always be arguing with Lalita. Understand? Trying to make arrangement. She'll see Krishna and tell, oh, where you're going? Krishna's on his way to see Radhika. Krishna's always going to see Radhika. The meetings with Chandravali happen accidentally almost. So she'll see Krishna, hey! Krishna, oh my gosh. Then Padma will approach, where are you going? I know you wanted to see my Sakhi. She's just nearby. Oh, you can come. I will take you. You have no problem. You can immediately have darshan. So then Krishna will say, you cannot say, I don't want to see her. Right? So then Krishna's obliged. So he's going there. You understand? He's waiting for any opportunity to make the situation change. So, that time, Rup Manjari, very expert. So Rup Manjari will run in the same area. Oh my gosh, what's happening to this Vrindavan? What is happening to this Vrindavan? And Krishna will stand up and say, something must be going on in Vrindavan. I must go and attend to it. I will return, I will be back. But I must go and attend to whatever's happening now. So then he will come out and Rupa Manjari will give him the look like, understand? You nonsense, right? And then he'll run and say, what is happening in this Vraj? And Rupa Manjari, yes, what's happening is that you've not realized the great fortune of having darshan of my Sakhi yet. You understand? And then Krishna will be so submissive and follow her. You understand? So like this. So this is different groups. So we're getting off course here with Leela. But this is like the different groups and how they manifest. You understand? That rag turns into anurag. And this anurag is very important. Understand? We always say Krishna is ever fresh. Right? What is it that makes Krishna ever fresh? It is called anurag. The perception of Krishna's ever freshness is realized more in anurag. Sadanubhutam api yakuryam nava nava priyam raga bhavam nava navi. So anuraga. Anurag means that state of prema in which prema itself has now made its identity known separately. Up to this point, Prema is operating covertly, let's say. Now Prema overtly manifests itself as the controller of the lover and the beloved. Prior to that, it was operating in their hearts. So it's making their attraction, everything go on. But now Prema steps out and says, no, I am the cause of why you see that Krishna is more beautiful than he was 1 minute ago. You understand? Like in the Gopi Geet at the end. Tasyam avyabach chori smaya manamukam bojam pitam bharadaswaragi sakshat manmat manmat. When gopis came to dance Ras, was Krishna beautiful or not? Did Krishna change? Why now he's sakshat manmat manmat was like a poetic way of saying he's directly appeared so much more beautiful. He's directly now looking like Cupid. Why? Because the anurag had gone so high. Increasing. The anurag going so high. Separation produces intensity. So now, sakshat manmat manmat. Understand? In the material world, we give semblance. If your beloved will travel and be away for a long time, 1 or 2 years working somewhere, when you see them in the airport, they look so good. Until you get home. 2 hours later, it's back same thing. But Krishna is permanent. You understand? It's permanent. So, this is due to anurag. Another feature of anurag, very important. Anurag swasamvedya dasya. Anurag acknowledges prem observing itself. Swa samvedya. Samvedya means it's knowing itself. Swa, it takes the avas, the dasya. Swa samvedya dasya means it takes the position of openly observing itself. You understand? And prapya prakashita. It goes into the body of the lover and beloved and creates ecstatic symptoms. You know what is Jumai, Jwali, Dipta, Udipta, Sudipta. Like the Astasattvic Vikar, like hair standing on end, crying. Prem comes and goes and starts decorating the bodies of the lover and the beloved with Astasattvic Vikar. You understand? According to the nature of their prem. So in Radhika it goes all the way to Sudipta. You understand? So, but Prem comes and is so bold, it decorates the bodies of the lover and the beloved with the Astasattvic Vikar. Then it says not only that, but Prapya Prakashita Yagodasraya Vittis Chet. And then it makes the love so full that they can't contain it, so it overflows and enters the hearts of others who are nearby. This becomes the basis of Manjari's vicarious ability to taste the mood of Radhika. You understand? It's overflowing from her heart. Because the prem now has manifested itself and is taken over. So, I'm giving an example. In Chaitanya Charitamrita and Ramananda Samvad, there's one poem that was written by Ramananda Roy for his play, Jagannath Vallabhanatakam. See right? Pahili Raga Nayana Bhangavela Anudinam Avari Vadhalanagela. When our eyes first met, we developed love. I mean, because Raga is already there, not even. So we developed love first time just looking at each other. You understand? Anudinam, day after day, Avari Vadhalanagela. It has grown and has not stopped. But now, Naso Ramana Naham Ramana Naso Ramani. I am not the lover and you're not the beloved. Manobhav, doing Manobhav, Peshali Jani. Love itself has taken us and pushed us together. So Ramananda Roy, when he was telling Mahaprabhu about Prem Vilas Vivar, he quoted this poem. He said, now love has come and is acting of its own accord. I am not the control of the love and you're not the beloved. Because initially the love is coming out of the heart. So I'm expressing, I love you, I love you too. But now love is so bold, it's come out and it's decorated you obviously with love. And it's decorated with love. So now we cannot deny. You understand? It's clear or not?
Yeah.
You understand? So love is now Swa Samvedya Dasha. It's proclaiming its own supremacy over Radha and Krishna. That's why Prema is Prayojana.
One more thing. When you say about like love from Srimati Radhika is overflowing to his Manjari, but we also say that Manjari experienced 100 more times than what Radhika's
I told the other day, this is called Atishokti Alankar. It's a way to describe a feeling Like if you would say, he cried a river of tears. So nobody's going to look for the river. Understand? It's a way to express the profuseness of that emotion that came. So to say, oh, how much Bob did, who can express? 10 millions of times more. Because then we'll say, why are you using this number? It's not 20 million?
Prabhu explains that when a bee lands on a flower and if there's a manjari, then the manjari shakes even more than
Yes,
it shakes on the flower.
on the flower. So it's just describing the beauty of Babul Asrati. This is our line. So obviously it's going to give emphasis, yes.
Because this is the point that Chaitanya Prabhu also wanted to
Yes.
experience of manjari.
Yes.
How
Yes.
that's what I was going to point.
So here's saying that this love has become its own manifest entity and is controlling the lover and the beloved. And therefore it's painting them with Rasa, Sattva, Vikar, etc. And it's overflowing their hearts and touching the hearts of others who are nearby. Understand? This is called Yavat Ashraya Vritti. So this is the stage of Anurag. That Anurag is the Sthai Bhav of Madhurya Rasa. That's mentioned in chapter maybe 36 of Jaiva Dharma. This is the base platform of Madhurya Rasa. So, this Anurag, it becomes intensified. When it becomes intensified, it becomes Mahabhav. Understand? Anurag becomes Mahabhav. This Mahabhav has two divisions. They are called two divisions of Mahabhav. Okay. Ruda and Adirud. So if you listen to the words Rag, Anu, Rag, the Rag or love that followed that Rag became Anurag. That Anurag turned into Mahabhav, which is Rud. Adirud means an intensification of that earlier Rud above. Understand? So even in the words, it's telling. Krishna can taste up to Madan. So, he's saying this root above, what is its quality? Nimeshata Shana Janatarit Valodanam. Nimeshata Shana means even 1 second passing is unbearable. Even 1 second passing is unbearable if they're not in the association of Krishna. Right? Atatite bhavam anika tritiyugayate Tvam like from Gopi Geet. You understand? That not seeing Krishna's face, even for the blinking of an eye, it's like a whole yuga has passed. So, Nimeshata Shana, Janatarit Valodanam, the Yabat Ashraya Vritti of Anurag, what it does when it enters the hearts of others is churn their hearts with the same mood. This is what's going on with manjaris. This is called Janatarit Valodanam, the churning of the heart with the mood that Radhika was experiencing. And Kalpashanatva. Kalpashanatva means what I was just explaining. That if they don't see Krishna for a minute, it's like a kalpa's gone by. Conversely, in the Ras Leela, 1 whole night of Brahma seemed like that short. So both things operate in reverse. Then, this is interesting. Kinatva tat shukti api ati sankaya. Sank means a doubt. Kinatva means distress. Even though Krishna is happy, the perception he may be unhappy, the gopis will feel this in Rudabhav. So where is it expressed? In Gopi Geet, last verse. Yatte sujata charanam buranam staneshu. Because they're saying, Brahma, Dayita Brahmati, Kurpa Aribir, Brahmati, Bhavamayu Samnaha. They're saying, listen, you came here with the intention to place your lotus feet on our hearts. But now we feel, because of us, you've been wandering in the forest, stepping on very sharp stones. So we feel that pain that you've been caused is even softer than the hardness of our hearts. You understand? So this is this particular mood. Kina means they think was Krishna happy?
Yeah.
He's hiding in the bushes looking this. He's amazed. But they're thinking Kina tatapi suke. Even though he's happy, they think he's in distress. And this creates a deeper sense of love for them. This comes in Rudabhav. Mohari abhave atmari sava vismaranam sada. So it says here that the gopis may be looking at Krishna. Even looking at Krishna, they will think, like especially Radhika, oh, at some point he may go. And becoming absorbed in the fact that they may be separated, she loses herself, and even though she doesn't faint, she's looking like this. And Krishna says, oh my beloved, no answer. Radhika? Radhika. Nothing, just blank stare. This is called Mohari Abhave. Without fainting, to completely lose yourself, because now she's meditating so hard, she's in a mood of separation. This is not praying by Chityamara like this. This is just another thing. She becomes so absorbed that even though she may be present there, Mohari Abhave, she doesn't faint, but she loses all sense of herself. Another thing, Radhika and her Sakis, they are carrying ghee to go to the sacrifice of Bhagri Rishi. At that time, they're all walking. And in the distance, they hear Krishna's flute being played. So, Itivenu Ravan Rajam Sava Bhuta Manoharam. When Krishna's flute will play, everybody becomes bewildered. So they also become bewildered, and they start shaking. Some little milk is spilling here and there. And so then one Saki will say, everybody straighten up. Just stop. Everybody get yourself together. We have to keep going. Right? So they start walking. Now they're -1. So they turn around, and Radhika's still standing there like this. Pot on head, everything else. Oh, Saki, come on. Saki, you're okay. They go back. Mohari Abhave. She's lost all sense of herself, where she is, anything. And she's only standing like deity. You understand? This comes also in Rudabhav. Something, Maharaj? No. It also comes in Rudabhav. And then I already explained, Kalpatyadya means that to, like one day of Brahma, dancing Raslila, seems like only 1 minute is passed. This can happen, yoga, the yoga. It may happen in separation or in meeting. These symptoms. What is Adirudh Bhav? Adirudh Bhav is described. When the Anubhavs attain an inconceivable greater excellence than they were in Rudha Bhav, or greater intensity, this is called Adirudh Bhav. Yatra Anubhava Drishyanti So Adirudho Nigajyate. This is called Adirudh Bhav. What happens in Adirudh Bhav? Chitra Jalpa and Udgurn. So Chitra Jalpa means what you read in Brahmar Gita. You understand? In the 47th chapter of the 10th canto is called Brahmar Gita. When Radhika is talking to the bumblebee, there are 10 categories of mad talk, which go through different kinds of Sanchari Bhavs. In Adirudh Bhav, this takes place. Understand? This is why, when Uddhava saw this, he told, Kwemastriyo Vanachari Vyabhichari Dushta Govinda Eva Akil Atmani Ruda Bhava. He said, how is it possible these young girls are roaming around in the forest, apparently doing non-dharmic things? Vyabhichari Dushta. But still, somehow, Govinda Eva Akil Atmani Ruda Bhav. They have Ruda Bhav for Krishna. Because Uddhava is intelligent. He knows what is Rasa Siddhanta. He's not experienced it, but he knows what it is. So he saw they have Ruda Bhav. You understand? So he calls, so this, hearing the conversation of Uddhav with Radhika in Brahmar Gita, he analyzed, this is called Ruda Bhav. Understand? Adirudh Bhav. Excuse me. Adirudh Bhav. Then, Udgurn. Udgurn means sort of excessive endeavor. Like Radhika will ask, is it possible that in the absence of Krishna, death may come? And when death will come, if it can please as long, I don't mind the death coming. Right? There's one verse here. I don't mind death coming. But I'm asking that when my body dissolves, if the air of my body can touch Krishna. You understand? If the earth of my body is planted near a tamal tree, and like this she starts to contemplate, take all the elements of my body and let them associate with Krishna. You understand? So this all happens in Adirudh Bhav. Then, that Adi root Bhav has two divisions also. One is called Modan. Modan Sadhavya Yatra Sattvika Udipta Shushtatvam. So Udipta means the next to last category of the intensity of the Asta Sattvic Vikar. The 8 different kinds of sattvic transformations of the body, like hair standing on end, becoming stunned, faltering of the voice, it happens in different degrees. Even in a pure Vaishnava in this world, it may appear as Dhyumite. Dhyumite means like smoldering. Like when you first start a fire, and it's not yet, you can't see the fire, but you could see smoke coming. This is called Dhyumite. Therefore, a pure Vaishnava may become overcome by these symptoms, but he can control it. Because only one symptom coming, he can control. Understand? Next is Jwalit. Jwalit means when 1 or 2 are coming. More difficult to control. Possible but difficult to control. Jwalit, Dipta, means lit, fully blazing. That happens in Siddha Avas. Right? Cannot be controlled. 3, 4 different symptoms coming all at one time. Then, in this Modan Bhav, it means, in meeting with Krishna, Udipta. It means 5, 6 symptoms coming, and it's very, very difficult to control. You can't control. Modan Bhav. Then, the root word in Modan is Madan. Rupa Goswami saying. And this Modan means, in their meeting, the excess of the happiness coming from that meeting creates this Udipta intensity of the Astasattvic Vikar, because they're meeting. Now this is interesting, because if meeting can create Udipta, how is it possible that in Mohan, Sudipta will come? You understand? Sudipta means all 8 symptoms at one time blazing. So if Madan, the basis of meeting, is happiness, but how more happiness is coming in separation. You understand? So then, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary, he says, this means that this mood of Modan does not appear in others like Chandravali. Understand? So this Modan Bhav appears primarily only in Radhika's Swapaksh. Modan is a form of the highest activity or Suvilas of the Ladini Shakti Vritti. This is quoting the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. This Modan's aspect has Prem Bhakti. It is priya or dear by residing in his dear women. So it resides in the Swapaksha of Radhika, is basically what's being said. It does not reside in anyone else except Radhika's group, he's directly saying. Then, what is Mohan Bhav? Mohan Bhav creates Dibyan Mad, and it creates symptoms of Radhika and the gopis, like in 10th canto. All the gopis are feeling so much separation, they become so absorbed in Krishna, they begin to imitate the pastimes of Krishna. One gopi says, "Hey Putana, you come here, I will kill you now." One gopi is acting like Putana. This is due to Dibya Unmad, means transcendental madness. In this Mohan Bhav, very high class of Udgran and Chitrajalpa take place. Right? So remember, Adi Root is where Chitrajalpa goes, but particularly in Mohan Bhav. Because at the time of Brahmarji, there's separation. Right? Finally, the highest thing, which is only present in Radhika, is called Madanakya Mahabhav. Right? Sava Bhavad Gamalamsi Madano Yat Parat Para. It is superior to all other kinds of bhavs. And Sava Bhavad means it contains all of the ingredients of prem, beginning with bhav. You understand? Sava Bhavad Gamalamsi means bhav that we obtain after sadhan is present. Prem is present. Sneha is present. Man, Pranat. Each individual category keeps its distinction and is present with Radhika. You understand? This is how she can experience any one of these positions, but from her height. So Sava Bhava Gamalangsi Madano Yat Paraparam. But it's superior, Madan Bhav, to all other kinds of Bhav. Rajayate Ladini Saro. The Ladini Shakti, which is Radhika herself, permeates this Bhav. Ladini, Rajayate Ladini Saro. Radhayam Eva Yasada. It only appears in Radharani. Not in even Lalita Visakha, anyone. It only appears in Radharani. Also, Yog Esha Bhaver Esha. Yoga Esha Bhaver Esha Pachitti Kopi Madanaha. Yad Vilasa Virajante Nitya Lila Sahasrada. So it says Yog Esha. It means that the Madan Bhav always produces Yog with Krishna. So here's the interesting thing. Yoga Esha Bhaver Esha means certainly this Madan Bhav takes place only in union. Then how are Radha and Krishna separated? This is the question. Yes, because it's mentioning here. Yad Vilasa Virajante, it only is in Braj. So it means not in Dwarka, Mathura, anywhere else. Only in Braj. And Nitya Lila Sahasrada. This Bhav produces unlimited Leelas in different Prakosh. So Radhika never feels separated from Krishna. Right? And when she does, it's only due to the fact that it's a different Leela in a different Prakosh. Therefore, Mathura and Dwarka are a Rohe Prakosh of Braj. So when people say Krishna never leaves Braj, the meaning here is that what is Mathura and what is Dwarka? In this suite that we're in now, 376P, that's the name of this suite. This room is Brajadam. Are there other rooms in this suite?
Yeah.
Is that room in any use to us right now? You understand? If somebody will get up and go in that room, we'll say, oh, where Vinay Prabhu is gone. You understand? Are you still in 376P? This room is only functional as an additive for other things in this room. Dwarka and Mathura are Virohik Saitras of Bhagavan that only happen in the Prakat Lila. You understand? What is the meaning of Mathura or Dwarka from Sambandha Dhyan perspective? What is the meaning of Mathura Dwarka without Braj? Nothing. Would we have an interest in Mathura and Dwarka? No.
Then this is the Leela of the Braj.
This is Braj Leela expanded as separation in a place called Mathura and then more distant in Dwarka. Why? Because in Dwarka it gives rise to Vipralambara Pradurbhav that I was talking about the other day. And it also gives rise from that separation to some Riddhiman Sambhog. Because each type of separation has a particular type of meeting. In Purvarag, like in Venugi, Purvarag, the meeting is called Sangshipt Sambhog. It means when they meet, it's very brief. Because so much shyness and everything is still present. After Man,
They're new.
new. So there's so much shyness, everything. After Man will come Sankirna Sambhog. Sankirna means they're together, but because there was some disagreement, anything happened, Sankirna means everything is contracted. So Radhika's there, Krishna's there, but some mood is there. Yes, can I help you? You understand? Some mood is there. If you have any argument in your home, you know. Anybody who's married, raise your hand. If you ever experienced Sankirna, yes. Okay, I'm checking. All right. Then, after Pravas, it means when Krishna takes the cows out for grazing. And they meet after that time, later in the evening, or at midday, at Radhakund. That is called Sampana Sambhog, enriched to full Sambhog. When Krishna will go to Dwarka and stay there for a long time, having become married to Rukmini Satyabhama, 16,108 queens, and who Vasudeva and Devaki considered our son is returned, and by their affection, Krishna is under some control there. These elements constitute Sudur Pravas. It means going to a distant place for a long time and coming under the control of others. When they meet at Kurukshetra for the solar eclipse, that meeting is then called Samriddhiman Sambhog, enriched meeting. You understand? That's why these places are Virohe Prakash and Leela stands in separation from Braj. Understand? Any questions about what is praying? Which is our Prayojana? I gave this paper because not easy to digest all in one day. Okay? Rome was not built in a day, but it was built in some time. This may take lifetimes to understand what to speak of, to realize. But that's why I thought it important to put it here, because you have all references. You can go look all commentaries, everything, because I put down every verse, what numbers there, everything. Understand? Yeah? Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, since Krishna is more prominent in separation, why does he have to go and Uddhava to tell the gopis that he's coming?
Because this is part of the mood of separation, the desire to be together. So you're always trying to find a way to come together. So the solar eclipse became a reason for Brijavasis to go there. Because Brijavasis will not go to Dwarka. Dwarka and Braj are like oil and water. They do not mix. Understand? So because they are kept separate from Mathura, because before going to Dwarka from Mathura, he sent Uddhav there. Plus he wanted to have Uddhav glorify Braj and the nature of Prema in Braj. Therefore, who was considered to be the highest devotee according to Brihad Bhagavatamrita outside of Braj? Uddhav. Because Uddhav then realized in going to Braj the glory of the Prema of the Vrajavasis. When he returns, Krishnaya Pranipattaya Brajekasam, no, Udrekam Rajasoka. He says, when he returns to Krishna, he says, Pranipat, he gives his Dandavat to Krishna, and he tells, what is the height of the love of these Vrajavasis? You understand? He recited the verses as he was leaving, like a Samaho Charanayu, Chisamaham Syam, Pranavanikim, Gomalata Sodinam. All these kind of verses he recited there. But when he came back to Krishna, he wanted to tell how deep the love is. But first he could only do Pranipat. Understand? He surrendered himself, tried to explain. Understand?
So the gopis who are experiencing Krishna in their deep separation, can they be consoled by what you have did?
No. That's why Baladev goes later on from Dwarka. Understand? Because no consoling.
Because they're already meeting him in their separation. And
Yes. But what happens is, I'll give you an example. If any beloved person has traveled for some time and you think they're coming back, this is one kind of state of hope and aspiration. Anticipation. Still like anticipation that they're going to come back. If you get a resignation, like somebody passes away, and you know, well, I'm not going to see them again, your thoughts and memories and everything with that person is different. Because you've reconciled they're not coming. So you've taken more shelter of the remembrances in a way that you could not do when you think they're coming 2 weeks, 1 month, because you're expecting that presence to be there. But the gopis, they take such deep shelter of separation. I explained the other day that verse, right? Ruda bhavakya yam sambhoga vipralambika. That separation produces nirbharananda purna prema vari ishite, a kind of absorption that produces Krishna's direct presence. You understand? They become so absorbed, Krishna directly manifests there. The first semblance of that was when he took Uddhava, he told Gacham Braja Uddhava Somyam Pitaro Pratyavaha Mat Gopi Viyogadim Mat Sandeshara Vimochaya. He said, listen, Uddhav, you go, there's one whole book called Uddhav Sandesh, right? And I heard it many years ago, spoken by Madrasi Baba. So high class. Because we don't think that Krishna told Uddhava go to Braj, he caught the next bus or Uber and went to Braj. Wasn't like that. This went on for some days, that he told, what is Vrindavan like? What is this mood like? This thing, that thing. Oh, before you go, I will give you one of my outfits to wear. Why? Because my fragrance is in these outfits. So when you go to my parents' house, they will catch my fragrance also. Also, Uddhav looks like Krishna. You understand? He's his cousin. So he looks like Krishna. Then he decorated hair like Krishna. He gave his chariot to take. You understand? All these different things. He told Priti Pitaro, Gacha Vraja Mudava Somyam, Pitaro Priti Avaha. Pitaro means our parents. So he said, you should think of Nanda and Yashoda not like your auntie's uncle, like they're directly your own mother and father, like they are to me. Priti avaha. And by the overwhelming affection that you would have for your own parents, show them that and try to pacify them. But ma gopi viyogadim, the viyog, the separation of the gopis, you will not be able to pacify that. So mat sandashar, give my message to them. Did the message satisfy them?
No.
So even Krishna was not up to par. You understand? So later, one second. So later on, from Dwarka now, Balaram and Krishna speaking. Oh, listen, bhai, we've not gone to Braj in some long time. Why are we not going? Oh, this reason, that reason, this reason. Inner reasons because Krishna knows the depth of the separation is such high class is producing so deep love. He cannot produce by his presence. To Balaram will he tell this? No. But why we're not going? Okay, you don't go, I'm going myself. You understand? So then Balaram goes. And that's when Balaram has his own Ras, Yatra, everything there. But Balaram also at that time, to Krishna's gopis, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, and Gurudev said this is a mystery, he manifested the Rupa of Krishna to each of his gopis. Because can Baladev manifest Krishna? Yes. So he manifested Krishna to his gopis. You understand? So this is one way. So their separation mood was quelled by the manifestation of Krishna coming from Baladev Tattva. You understand? Then, at Kurukshetra, he directly gave his darshan. Now giving his darshan for 2 months, again separation takes place, but now the separation is doubled in intensity. So now Krishna, after seeing that, he does not go back. Of course, Jiva Goswami says, after killing Dantavakra, he returns. Because many of our acharyas, they cannot bear this thing. Like Ananda Vrindavan Champu. It ends with the Julian doing Ras Lila. He doesn't even mention Krishna going to with Akrura to Mathura, etc. He won't even mention it. Like in Ramcharitmanas, they don't do Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand very painful because it's when Ram does Agni Pariksha, then they go to Sarayur. He didn't want to see embarrassment of Sita, everything, so he didn't want to write. Understand? So, in Bhagavatam, Krishna does not return. Understand? So this mood of Vipralambika Pradurbhav becomes prominent. You understand? And in this mood, the fullness of Radhika's expression of praying is seen. Okay? Oh wait, Binay, we have a question there? Then I'll come.
When we talk about the Modan and Mohan Bhav, he said Modan is the Swapaksha of Srimati Radhika.
It's there.
Is Mohan is also like the separation mode is also only with the Swapaksha, or all gopis have Mohan Bhav? Like
No. Only in Radhika. From Madan going is Madan is in Radhika's group. Mohan is in Radhika's group, but the intensity of the experience is in Radhika and vicariously they are experiencing.
Okay.
Madan is exclusively in Radhika.
Madan is exclusive. But when we said Gopi Geet, when Uddhav also saw the Gopi Geet and they were imitating like Krishna's pastimes, where it's like when you said Divya Man, that was done by all gopis, correct? Like they were doing
all gopis, but where the bhav is coming from.
Srimati Radhika. Okay.
Yasraya, Yad what? Asraya? Vritti. Haribo?
Yes. Okay, so, when the,
I'm coming, Didi, and then Prabhu.
gopis therefore been Krishna's separation, and Krishna appeared,
Wait, they're absorbed in meeting Krishna in separation.
meeting Krishna in separation.
Yes.
He appeared. Does Krishna have any control over that? Can he choose not to appear if he wants? Or
No.
is it the love controlling him?
Love is controlling him. Very good question. That frame is fully, that's why Radhika is called Vasikari, like we were reading yesterday in Ramani Shiromani. Because Krishna is always coming under control. But in this particular, her praying is so high, right? This is glorifying praying. You understand? Because now the praying has taken a shape. Because in that same poem it says later on, even though we were like that, now we're communicating by message. The same poem of Ramananda Roy I recited earlier. Oh, now we're separated. And so now our love is being communicated by messenger. You understand? So here, the praying is the messenger. That's the point Ramananda Roy is making. The messenger is praying. So by the praying of Radhika, she attracts Krishna to the point where his manifestation is there. That's why in that verse it says, don't think this is a sporty. This is actually Krishna's manifestation. You understand? Okay, Anuradha, Prabhuji, then Maharaj.
So you mentioned how only in Prakat Leela does Mathura and Dwarka manifest as separation places. So, and you also mentioned how in Srimad Bhagavatam it leaves off where Krishna does not actually return to Braj. But we come to understand through Gaur Leela that eventually he does through Jagannathi.
Throughout the Yatra.
Yeah, so is Srimad Bhagavatam, though Srimad Bhagavatam is Granth Raj, is that pertaining to this Prakat Leela? Because it speaks about Mathura, it speaks about Dwarka. So is Srimad Bhagavatam speaking about this Prakat Leela in the sense that where he does not return? And then obviously Chaitanya Charitamrita continues that Leela to, Jagannath Leela and all of those things.
Yes, and I found the verses. I just started looking because I have verses for everything. So in Ujjwali Mani, it's mentioned there. Attaha samyog viyoga sthiti hari lila viseshasya prakatasya. Only in the prakat lila does this going and coming happen. So the idea of Krishna being separated only in the prakat lila. Other than that, Vrindaranye Viharata Sada Rasadi Vibrame Harina Vraja Devinam Virahasti Na Kanchit. So it's saying there is no separation at all of the Braj women from Krishna, who eternally enjoys in the Vrindavan pastimes of the Rasa dance. So it means in the Nitya Dham there is no separation. This is why Radhika's Madan Bhav says Yog Esha Vavedesha. In the Prakat Leela she enters a different Prakosh. In the Nitya Dham, also by Prakosh only, they're having the Abhiman of being separated. Here in this Dham, at least Krishna gets on the chariot of Akrur. In the Nitya Dham, no Akrur, just the Abhiman that is happening. And how does the Abhiman come about? From the narrations of Madhukant and Snigdhakant. Understand?
Really Krishna's world.
Yes.
Both.
Also, Sri Tutula Bhatt made an amazing statement. He said that actually we glorify the Nitya Dham, but there are leelas that take place in this Bhoma Dham that are not even there. You understand?
Like Jama.
Yeah, like the Janma Leela, etc. So he says there's specialities here. And only those who are not mature think there's a difference between this Dham and that Dham. You understand? So it's a deep conception. You understand? We think, oh, this is the material version of it. No, this Dham even has some superior qualities.
Prakat Leela has been done only by the mercy of Krishna to attract the conditions.
Exactly. But also for his own purpose.
Yes.
Because for his own purpose,
He enjoyed whatever
Samriman Sambhog, yes. Prabhuji?
Wanted to have more of a distinction between Rudbhav and
Adi Rudbhav?
Rudbhav and Prema Chitta.
Prema Chitya.
Yeah.
Prema Chitya is described when the imminency of separation is present. It causes such a state that even though the loved and beloved are together, Radhika will feel so much intense anticipation of their separation, she enters a precaution in which they are separated. That's called Prem by Chitya. Like at Prem Sarovara, like during Gopi Geet, when they left and Krishna found Radhika and they were traveling together. Then at one point, Radhika told, listen, I'm very tired. So I don't want to go anymore traveling forest to forest unless you carry me. So Krishna said, okay. And Krishna said, get onto my back. When Radhika heard, Lajja, Sanchai Bhav Lajja, means shyness came. So she closed her eyes to reach for his back. When she closed her eyes, not seeing him that long, she thought she was separated. So it's also Prem Vachitya. Because she's anticipating she may be separated. But also Acharya stuff for another reason. Because then Krishna, seeing that, He was hiding in the bushes observing these moods. This becomes the stimulus for his desire to become Mahaprabhu, seeing all these things. You understand? Comes his impetus, what is this thing? I can't understand it. Understand? At that time, Radhika didn't lay down. Hey Ramanatha, what is this verse? Hey Ramanatha Presta Kwasi Kwasi Mahabhuja. You understand? Lay down like that, then all the other gopis come and they see her laying like that. Then seeing the height of her separation, all the other gopis become, what is it called? Empathetic to her mood. You understand? Then when they all join with her mood, their mood collectively under Radhika is now suitable for Krishna to have Rasa. You understand? Because then together, they begin to look for Krishna. Then she says, we should go back to Vamsivat. And at Vamsivat, they begin singing these things. You understand? And then when Krishna hears it, when he gets to the last verse, Yate Sudatta Charanam Bunnam Saneshu, Pita Sunai Dadidi, Karkasheshu, Pita Sunai Dadi Mahi, Karkaseshu. Kupari Bhir Brahmati, Taita Kupari Bhir Brahma Bhava Mayusamnaha. Understand? I missed something in this verse. But it's saying, oh, we are so fearing that you're wandering in the forest and stepping on so many sharp stones. So we think our heart is so hard. When Krishna heard that, this is called the Vasi Krita verse. He became captured. He could no longer hide. So then he reappeared. Tasama Vibhachachari, Smayamanam Kambojam, Pitambara Daswaragri, Sakshat Manmataman. Pitambara Daswaragri means when he appeared, you know he had done something wrong. So he took his Pitambara and he did like this. This is a symbol of Kritanjali. He's making Anjali, he's holding his cloth. I'm sorry. It was my fault. Then the gopis now, different groups of gopis do different things. One group of gopis, they're very happy, they grab Krishna's hand. One gopis, even more, she puts her hand on the shoulder of Krishna. Some gopis, they're massaging feet of Krishna. One group of gopis is standing at a distance and one gopi is like this. That's Radharani. You understand? And then they start to do pariksha, means examination. So they take their cloth and they spread on the ground and they give asana to Krishna, start questioning, what kind of lover are you? That's a whole other section. So the praying by chitta is different.
Just want you to expatiate more the Sampurna Sambhog.
Samridhima or Sampana Sambhog? Sampana Sambhog, if Krishna takes the cows out for grazing. Right? There's two ways Sampana Sambhog can take place. Called Agati, means Krishna, Radhika, they're all doing things. Krishna is supposed to be cow grazing. But all the gopis are getting water from one well. Suddenly who pops up? Or better even, Radhika was sent by Jatila to do Surya Puja. All of a sudden, two boys show up. Right? Dressed as Brahmins. Right? Oh, we can help you with your puja. You understand? One is Krishna, one is Madhu Mangal. So suddenly appearing like that, or at Sankari Kor, we cross, all of a sudden like the whole Dan Kelly Leela. They're going somewhere and all of a sudden he pops up out of nowhere to cause trouble. The other way is when they have made an arrangement to meet after, like at Madhyanik Leela. Krishna's taking the cows out with the cowed boys, but then at a certain time he tells, oh, I thought I saw some very beautiful pasturing grounds. I want to go. No, you stay here. I'm going to check and look and see if that place is suitable. So Balaram knows. So Balaram will not follow. Krishna will go from there to Radhakund. This is Madhyanik Leela. Yeah? And it's Sampana Sambhog because they've been separated. Sudur Pravas means when Krishna goes to a distant place, Ujjalanmani is saying categories have to be there. Distant place, long period of time, and he has to be under the control of others. So what is the control of others? He has 16,108 wives, 10 sons and a daughter by each. So-called parents, Vasudeva and Devaki, grandparents. You're obliged to this kingdom of Dwarka, so forth, so on. So he has some sense of responsibility there. You understand? But when all of that, when they meet at Kurukshetra, you understand? Then that meeting is now, based on all those conditions, Samriddhiman, completely enriched. You understand? Any last questions on it? Did you?
So thank you so much for the class. I'm because I am one as a devotee, I'm just contemplating what we've spoken about the last couple of days in terms of, it sounds like in the process of bhakti, as we're moving from establishing sambandha to Prayojana, there's a call to the jiva to allow oneself to kind of lose one's identity, like all of those coverings that we have and in this world that we have like just have attachment to. And in that process of moving from John Doe to Bhakti John to eventually realizing one the helplessness that we have and the plea of our position as devotees, waiting for Guru Kripa as we practice and having the internalization of this manashiksha to adjust my mind. That in that process as we advance by the mercy of Bhakti Devi and Guru Vaishnava, that so much of the conceptions of who I am seem to just kind of disappear. And almost what I'm understanding, and it's for confirmation, that Saranagati process is allowing myself to be submerged so much so in this like state of I am basically at the whim and mercy, but I continue nevertheless in this process out of like faith and out of helplessness, so that I can be overwhelmed so much so and submerged that love kind of reigns supreme.
That was very well expressed. Very well expressed. Understand? Very well expressed. Because that's exactly what happens. One of the big fears, and the Hamkar jumps in here, is when we think about Saranagati, it's the state of that helplessness you're talking about. I'm not in control. Because up from the time of a Nadi Kal, having one body after another, the one thing we can count on is, I think I'm in control. You understand? Now you're saying, because even, let's say, everything you've done in life. So I want to learn how to ride my tricycle. Day 1, day 2, 2 weeks later, I'm on it. Take the training wheels off, 2 weeks later, I'm riding the bike. Then I went to school, A, B, C, D, E, I'm 2nd grade. I made it to 3rd grade, 4th grade. University, I'm going to complete it in the 4 years required. I got my master's. I have my PhD. I got the job I wanted. I'm at the top of the realm of that. Everything has been on our timeline, and our perception of controlling it. Bhakti, what's the timeline? That's the problem. If somebody said, okay, just surrender fully, do everything, 2 weeks from now, or even if they told you 2 lifetimes from now, you're gonna have it. You understand? But what's the timeline? And that's what freaks people out. That's what freaks people out. There's no timeline, and I have no control. You understand? It's like, I'm giving you an example. It's like being in a car, like, to make an example of my very dear friend Bhumi, I hate not to drive. Or ask my good wife. I cannot sit in the passenger seat. You understand? So I'm driving, even if I go to just, blink my eyes. We say, you all right, Prabhu? Prabhu, Prabhu, come on. There's 4 of us in this car. We can all drive. Prabhu, you don't need to do, right? And even if I just blink my eyes, you understand? Because the whole thing of, I always say, right.
And just like that.
We were in another dristy cool.
What does Oh, so you saw like, but I just hate, I don't know why.
We will stop on the middle of the road with cars passing, and it's Lagos. And Prabhu.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
That was also another.
I don't want to put so much on the live, but we were preaching. In fact, we're doing questions and answers now, so I'm going to end the live here. My Dandavat Pranam. I'll tell the jokes later.